Scalability. Alright, so we talked about the auditability fallacy already, right? The problems with attempting to audit something that's tied to the chain. I'm not going to cover that again. For the viewers at home, previous presentation. Scalability principle. Oh, okay. This is an older topic we just talked about, like the idea that Bitcoin is. So the term scalability is borrowed from engineering. Right? An engineer trying to make something scalable, specifically a computing device. The idea is that you write your software so that if you add hardware, you get a proportional increase in whatever performance characteristic you're trying to scale. It is specifically you would want a linear increase, right? So you add twice the memory and you get twice the whatever, right? You add twice the bandwidth, you add twice the disk space, twice the processing power, CPU, whatever. As you increase those things, you want the performance characteristics that you care about to improve linearly with that increase. And believe it or not, I don't know how many software engineers we have here, but software is often written so that does not happen. It seems like there's naturally that would happen, but you write some software, and it doesn't matter how much hardware you throw at it, it's multiple boxes, one box, big box, doesn't matter if you just run at the same speed. Just not scalable software. Or not a scalable system. You can't add multiple computers and have them all share the load, like parallel processing, whatever you do, right? Okay, so scalability in Bitcoin. I can look at it from this aspect. We're trying to scale transactions. Because it's we're also trying to scale that without increasing the size of the chain, which would increase validation cost. So Bitcoin is this interesting characteristic where it's perfectly non-scalable, right, in one aspect, and infinitely scalable in another aspect. You can, with one transaction in Bitcoin, you can transfer the entire value of all the satoshis that exist, as long as you get them on, few enough outlets. You can literally, there's no real technical limit to the amount of money you can transfer at one time. And the fee associated with that doesn't really change, except based on how many outlets it takes to make that happen. But, so it's basically infinitely scalable, right? The hardware has no effect on that. It doesn't matter how slow or fast the hardware is, how big the number is, whatever, there's no effect on that. As long as something is processed, you don't pay for it, you get all that money through the system. And then transaction throughput, doesn't matter how many machines we throw at it, how fast our machines are, only going to get a certain limited number of transactions through the system every 10 minutes. Perfectly non-scalable, right? And those are the two factors we're working with. You can improve significantly. We spent a lot of time in the Bitcoin working on this, improving other scalability factors. That's not what we talk about with like economic principles, right? We're talking not directly anyway, talking about speeding up validation time so you can make more profit as a miner or wait less time, decreasing disk storage space so you can reduce validation costs a little bit. But when we talk about scalability in Bitcoin, the arguments are about transaction throughput and money throughput. There was no argument about money throughput. People only transferring about money, it's transaction throughput. So, one of the solutions to that is you just don't do it on the chain, do it off the chain, right? You transfer the money, do all these things, do it like put all your money in Bitcoin, Coinbase, like that happen, and then transact with other people using Coinbase. They're not actually putting it on chain, so there's a lot more Bitcoin transactions happening. And then at some point, it all settles on chain when you take your money out. It's like bank money settles when you take your cash out of the ATM. So that's how financial systems scale. That's what Matt said, right? That is an aspect of scalability. It's a solution scalability, but it's not really, you're not really using Bitcoin, right? So you get into this question of Lightning. So I want to defer this question of Lightning until the end. Substitution. But Lightning is the idea of being able to take this off-chain transactability and make it provide a security guarantee, right? Eliminate the custodial risk associated with it. So you're doing off-chain transactions. You're actually trading in unconfirmed transactions, but they're confirmable. And security guarantee is that if you're getting robbed and you notice it in time, you can confirm the closing transaction, pay the fee, and not get robbed. Right? And by the way, I don't like to speak on the technicals of anything. I haven't implemented myself. All the Bitcoin stuff is done, but I haven't done anything on Lightning, so it's just mostly just reading. And if I make any mistakes, feel free to correct me. So that's great. I'm going to cover some issues with that. I guess I'll cover that now. So what happens, you're going to do this because you want to do a lot of smaller transactions and you don't want to pay the fees. The fees are too high. So let's say the fees are, there's a really big amount of usage of Bitcoin out there, and the fees are $10, right, or $100 per standard transaction size. And you want to do penny-sized transactions and micro-transactions. So you open up a channel, you pay your $100, and all of a sudden people start robbing you, right? So what do? You've already invested $100 in this, hoping you don't get robbed. You can cut another $100 to close out the channel and stop getting robbed and get your money that you back. But you paid $200 to save a few cents, and that's not economically rational, so you just let it happen until the amount that you got robbed is dwarfed by the amount that you not got robbed. I don't know. So there's the security guarantees of Lightning are based in the ability to settle quickly enough by going on-chain. But the reason for Lightning is essentially that the on-chain transaction fees are high. There's other reasons too, but that's the fundamental issue, right? Is transaction throughput causes fees to rise, and we need a way to deal with that. And this kind of became a big issue when fees were actually rising because the price had skyrocketed for a period of time. So it doesn't sound very economically rational to me as a solution to this. So some people will say in response to that as well, we just keep everything in Lightning and don't settle, and therefore we won't never have to pay those fees. It should be obvious that sacrifices the security guarantee. It's effectively the same as decoupling the dollar from gold. You now have this other thing which has now become money of its own, because you can't settle on the chain, it's too expensive, so we're just going to go with stuff. So you don't have any security guarantee. So you can trade security for lower cost, lower security, lower cost. Go to Coinbase, let them hold your Bitcoin, transact like you're using Bitcoin, reduce your costs in exchange for the security. By the way, I got kicked off of Coinbase. I had it for like 6 or 7 years. I don't know, 6 years probably. I just got a letter. I knew they gave my shit to the IRS, so I got a letter on that. And I expected it all along. But then my account just closed. What happened? I'm like, I can't tell you. Oh, great. Something. I didn't change my behavior. This is regular dollar cost average person. So yeah, you sacrifice. I always take the money. It doesn't like stay there, so I didn't lose the money or anything. But there's a risk in doing these things, and there's a risk if you just circulate Lightning transactions. You can't really settle. It's economically irrational. Right now, Bitcoin fees are pretty low, so it's not that much of an issue, right? So the ironic of it only was really useful when it was not necessary. Okay, so I'm not saying that I'm not a Lightning fan or anything like that. This is me just pointing out how I see things working. I did have a speaker who was scheduled to speak specifically on the specific issues that I talked about Lightning. One is another the need for trust, because you need to minimize this potential loss in trading partners, because you have to close. That's a loss. It causes centralization of off-chain stuff in Lightning, just like it does other things. And that has privacy implications, and it still has this, has risk implications. And in the conference, those things came out, and I was very interested to have somebody come and talk about the real-world experience with the specific things I just told you that nobody asked them about. Except me. Nobody's ever asked me that, but that's what we worry about. Okay, great. So, I don't want to give a second-hand presentation, but I wanted to point out that I'm not the only one that sees these things. People actually try to do stuff, they start seeing them. Okay, so I'm going to talk about substitution, utility threshold, and that's the end of the day. We're going to the thing. And this is really interesting to me, and especially the stuff that I haven't even put in the book yet. Talk about scaling. So, okay, if it's like lightning's not going to solve all of our scaling woes, maybe well, maybe won't. But what other options are there? Well, to me, it's pretty obvious that Bitcoin has another unique characteristic that, unlike gold, you can't just make another gold, right? It would just be gold. You know, we had something to do with the periodic table that has the characteristics of gold, but it's not gold. So Bitcoin, if we think of BTC as a chain, as a history of money, we're talking about limited supply in that chain. Another chain with the exact same rules, exact same code, the exact same people using it, maybe the exact same amount of usage can exist with maybe a 1-bit change to a mining algorithm and maybe a new genesis block, you know, date change. So that's really interesting, right? What does that mean? Well, people have said to me, when I told them, like, oh, if that was possible, which obviously it is, then it would be infinite supply and it would be worthless, right? Well, you can think of an analogy like we have gold, we have silver, we have platinum, you know, palladium, all these different metals we can use as money, but they don't get used like that, right? There's not demand for them like that because there isn't need to. We just use gold, we just keep mining it at the growth rate. But if there was demand, like say gold was too small to use as a money in certain types of transactions, we might use silver because silver is for the same price as lower, more massive, right? Same price, more massive. So there's different scenarios where this could already be the case, right? This could happen, but it does happen. So why doesn't it happen? Because there's no need for it. When a new chain erupts, there's hundreds or thousands of these, new chain comes along, and the question is, why would I go use that one? It's got lower security, or maybe it's the exact same as Bitcoin, there's fewer people using it, lower hash rate, nobody takes it, so it's not very useful. Money's a market, a network effect. Right? So let's use one, number of years log, you kind of use the one. But the one true chain has a limit. Right? And when it reaches that limit and cannot carry, and I'm going to talk about this in a second, cannot carry any more demand, which is unique to Bitcoin because it has these unique other characteristics, then it becomes too expensive to use. Why would demand start to accrue in another chain? And why is that a bad thing? It's a bad thing if you're a speculator and you want price to always rise. Price can't always rise as I described to you, and we don't want it to always rise because it's not a good property of money. And Bitcoin is not an investment, it's speculation. It's not lending to anybody, right? It should just maintain its price over time, and that would be perfect. So at least once it got to the point where it was fully monetized. But fully monetized, so gold never gets fully monetized. There's always been gold being produced. Bitcoin will become fully monetized when it can't accept any more demand. And I would expect at that point for other chains that may be identical, maybe similar, maybe different, right, to just start accruing value, lower value transactions have lower levels of security, which is a reasonable trade-off. And that's why I had Eric come and talk about atomic swaps. Do cross-chain atomic swaps, if you could make it relatively secure to swap value across two independent chains, you now have a strong mechanism to affect the transfers. And the other interesting aspect of that, and I think inevitably scaling solution if there's enough demand, is that we solve the sharding problem as well. And we at least found a way, I think it's shown that it can be found, to break up the chain and still be able to validate it. You get much smaller pieces, so you only need part of it, and you don't need the full chain. Sharding the data and spreading it out. So you only need part, right? But this is natural sharding, right? You only carry the chain that you're interested in. You can have 2, 3, 4, and then of course software can come and sit on top of this atomic swaps, selection of which chain to care about, and completely hide the whole thing for everybody, and why would anybody even know? This happens between dollars, quarters, nickels, dimes, right? These are different forms of money, and people swap between them, and they use them as if they're one money. So, to me, it's already happened. It's just not enough demand to drive any significant value into any other chains, because it's relatively cheap to use Bitcoin, even on chain. But it has happened for very small transactions, micro transactions, that can operate on Bitcoin. They little light. I think one of the arguments for Litecoin before. So this only got really one more thing to say. So that's the substitution principle. The idea that all products have substitutes, and when the cost of the thing you want gets high enough relative to the substitute becomes cheaper and sufficient, and switch to substitutes. And Bitcoin is a substitute for the dollar in some ways, and Litecoin can be a substitute for Bitcoin for some people. I don't know. But substitution is a market reality, and to think that the concept of Bitcoin has fixed supply is just provably false. Right? You can make as many Bitcoins as you want. If people have enough demand, they'll be able to produce enough hash rate, they'll be able to secure to some extent, and there'll be more supply of this type of money. And it's practically identical, except for maybe different hash rates. And that's not necessarily different either. So I would expect it to be different. I would expect it to be one that has like the maximum and then lower. These are the coordinate times. Lower security. Arbitrage between them to kind of stabilize value across them. I don't know. So to me, I think it seems inevitable that that's if Bitcoin grows to great heights. It won't be the price that grows to great heights. It will be the usage, which is much more important. Price is available. Unless you're speculating. So, okay, substitutions, utility threshold. So this is the one that I have a topic called utility threshold property. Wrote a long time ago, and it's just this idea that, which everybody understands, that as fees rise, it wipes out all transactability below some threshold. The money has no more utility. Now, it's not, you can't come up with a certain rate to say 100%, but somebody might really want to send some money so badly using Bitcoin, they might pay 100% fee, they might pay 200% fee, just to get that thing done. You can't value subject, you can't say. But there's some point where the market decides that this is the price above which the market does not pay fees. So even if you chose a fee of 10% of the average size transaction in Bitcoin, if you were to earn some Bitcoin and then invest it and find it out to other people and get your 10% return on capital, and you were to say do a Lightning transaction that cost you 10%, and then another one that cost you 10% to settle and get your Bitcoin back, right? You would have earned 2 years worth of investment returns just to transact. So even 10% is pretty significant. It's also the highest return we tend to see in remittances to third world countries and stuff, U.S. to someplace in Africa or Central America, so it's pretty common. I asked people, they say 10%. If it was 20, would they do it? Maybe not, right? These are subjective. So there's a point at which there's no marketable value for a certain size transaction. I think of it as kind of like a lot of these transactions that are really small, and they're tapering down to a smaller number of larger transactions. Now, I wouldn't assume it's linear. But it's up here and it's down here, right? There's some slope between these 2 points, and a lot of them like this. But there's obviously not a lot of billion-dollar transactions on Bitcoin, and there's not a lot of penny transactions on Bitcoin either. These have been wiped out, and it's not secure for these. So, but everything, there's this wedge in between, and there's a lot of the smaller ones, and then there's fewer of the bigger ones. So as the utility threshold moves. Remember, the fee is not a function of how much you're sending. You're welcome. It's good. It's clapping a little early, but as the utility threshold moves, because we have increasing demand, we have increasing hash rate, increasing security, bigger transactions are necessary, even if they're bundled up Lightning Network settlement transactions, or just one big one to settle years worth of work. What's happening is there's higher value. There's no limit on the value you can transact with transaction. But the same number of transactions and the size of the transaction, there's more demand because the size of those transactions is increasing, and presumably maybe they're being aggregated like Coinbase or whatever. But all those other transactions behind that rising threshold are being eliminated. So if this was a perfect linear correlation between amount of transactions and size of transactions, then you would actually be at a steady state, because as the threshold moves, you're wiping out more area, the same amount of area on your graph, let's say. In other words, you've reached the carrying capacity of the money. You can't take on any more value. As more demand comes in, you wipe out more transactions. You're wiping out more of the smaller ones to get a bigger one on average. So I haven't written that up, so it's not as clear in my head as other things. I've talked about it quite a bit. It's haven't felt like writing. So it's not a top game, but it ties in with this utility threshold and scalability principle and all this other stuff. So I guess I'll stop there. That's scalability in my mind. Questions?
So if the fees rise, then that would make it infeasible to like smaller transactions.
Yes, it does.
Yeah, over here.
Oh,
That wasn't the question yet.
okay.
If that's true, which I think we agree on, then wouldn't, because miners are incentivized partly at least and eventually fully by fees, right?
Right.
So if rising fees mean that that less transactions, doesn't that like create a negative feedback loop and that undermines the security of Bitcoin eventually?
Rising fees implies rising size of the average transaction in terms of number of units transacted. Right? So if the fees are higher to maintain a constant percentage fee, say at 10%. Obviously, if the fees are rising, that 10% implies that the average transaction size has to rise. Because fees are fixed on the data. So if fees are like $100 per average transaction data size, right? And then they go to $1,000, right? That you're still your amount of your transaction in that transaction no longer. Previously, you're transacting $1,000 for $100 a fee that was 10%. Now the average transaction size has gotten to 1,000. Or fee has gone to 1,000. You're now doing $10,000 transactions, right? So it doesn't mean it's not a downward spiral or anything. It just means that it only becomes useful for larger and larger transactions in order to maintain the ratio of fee to amount, right? Because everybody thinks about the fee they're willing to pay for something as a percentage of what they're paying. And you're paying for a confirmation of, if you're paying for a confirmation of $100 and it's costing you $50, you say the fees are high. But if you're doing $100,000 and it's just, yeah, that's fine. I do that all the time. So people think of these as proportionality, right? It's a cost for transferring that money. And I don't know if you can't prove where people would fall in terms of willingness to pay a fee, right? But you can say that if a fee is higher, for all things being equal, $1,000 transaction one way or another way, one has a higher fee, it's worth less to you, right? The one with the lower fee is better, everything else is the same, right? So as fees rise, it gets less useful, money is less useful, objectively. And that's that stability property we're talking about.